Greetings, friends. Today I'm going to show you how to crimp a JST wire. We're going to use JST PH for this, and we're going to use one of these little crimp connectors. They're composed of 3 sections if we look closely. We have the part that wraps around the insulation. We have the middle part that wraps around the uninsulated wire and crimps to it. And then we have the outer part, which mates with this part, using the little wing underneath here to ensure that it can't come out. So if you ever have problems with the little wing, you can just kind of, ouch, don't do that. But you can push the wing up a little bit. Anyway, first thing we're going to do is strip the wire. We're going to strip an amount that should fit just the uninsulated section, so around this amount. Nice. We can compare it by just quickly grabbing the crimp and looking. Yep, that fits the middle section. Next, we're going to grab our crimping tool. This is a non-ratcheted one. Having a ratcheted one would probably make life a lot easier. We're going to place in the middle section into the area that is the smallest that it fits. So for this case, 1.3 for this connector. You want the uninsulated part facing out. I'm using my fingers for this because it's just a little bit easier. I'm not going to give a tutorial on how to try and place microscopic parts, but we've pushed down a bit to kind of grip it. And as you can see on both sides, we kind of have the mating part on this side and the uninsulated part on this side, and under the crimp is the crimping part that we want to crimp, the uninsulated part. So now we're going to place the uninsulated part of the wire into the uninsulated part that we're going to crimp down upon. This can be a little bit annoying. You might want to just gently push the wires together so they're not splayed. Do not twist them. And we're going to push them in. And we can't push them in any further because of the insulated wire blocking us, which is good. That's what we want. Now we're going to push down upon it. I'm using the bench so I can push down pretty hard with one hand. And we have a crimp. We can give it a quick pull. We can see that we don't have a crimp. So we're just going to try again. We're not going to use the same crimp. I'm going to use a bit longer wire this time. And we're going to grab another connector. And put it in the same 1.3 place. Nice. And that does look a little bit long, but that's okay. You're going to push it in and push down really hard. Pulling it out does not pull the wires out. That's good. So we have the first part of the crimp done. Next part, we want to look at these end pieces here and kind of push them together a bit using the outer jaws, because they're just kind of open. I don't know why they have it open, but we don't want that. We just want them to be pointing inwards a little bit. So that way we can crimp them better. Not crimp, but like lock the isolation in place, insulation. So we have a nice kind of inwards V shape. It's very hard to see, I'm sorry. So next we're going to put it in the next size up, so 1.6 for me. And we're going to basically use this to push down the insulation part. What's important is that we actually kind of hold it in place so that we stay level while we do this. Because if we use the wire as a guide, it's not going to work very well. So let's do this. You can see that this is kind of not level. Let's make sure it's level like that. And now we're going to push down. And we've made a crimp. If we pull it, it's fine. We have the little wire at the bottom. Again, if you somehow bend that, you don't need to throw away the crimp. You can just kind of push it up like this. And then it's a bit more pronounced. Next, we're going to place it into the actual JST connector here. So I believe it goes in, so on one side you have these holes here. That's the side where you want to have the little wing. So in this case, we have the wing here and this side here, and we're going to push it in. It'll make a little click, and then we give a gentle pull, and we see that it doesn't come out and the wire doesn't break. And so now we have a crimp. And if for whatever reason, say the wire breaks like that, in this case, the crimp didn't actually break. I think just because I've messed with that hole. Let's try a different hole. I'll show you why I messed with it in a second. But we pull that in, push that in, give it a good pull. Okay, I can't actually get that out. So that's a good crimp. So in order to get this out, we have to push this part forward. And then we want to use tweezers or something to push in the wing part here. And then while we have them in, we want to pull it out. So this does bend the plastic a little bit. Let's see if I can do it. There we go. And now we still have this crimp. Just for fun, let's see how hard we can pull this crimp. Apparently, there we go. So, yeah. That is our crimp done. And if you're wondering, like, should you be able to pull things like that, even if they're crimped? I actually have an example of something else that was crimped, just a random wire. So I didn't crimp this. They're part of like a breadboard thing. Let's try pulling on it. And the wire comes right out. So, I mean, I don't know, it could be that these are bad quality cables. I don't want to destroy any good quality cables, but as far as I'm concerned, this should be fine, since these cables are not meant to be pulled on. They're just meant to be vibration dampening. They're not supposed to actually take a large amount of strain. Right, and that's about it. By the way, don't push these don't open this box upside down. Otherwise, all the stuff's going to come out. And I did that earlier, and now my box is completely out of order. So thanks for watching the video. Oh, and last thing, see this thing here? When you push it down, it might lock in like that. I think that's mainly just so you can, you know, hold the thing in place and keep pushing. But you just have to push down and then pull that open if it gets stuck. All right, see you later, everyone.